Yashodananda
Hari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Baba Giribadodari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribadodari Yasodanandana Brajachana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajachana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Tam Vishwapat Paramahansa Parilasharichari Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Sivan Grace Saisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prince Shri Kahor Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadgora Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Vardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai Shri Shri Mayapur की जय श्री श्री गोदानिता मायापुर सासी की जय श्री तुलसीनाथ महाराज की जय श्री गिरिधारी लाल की जय करुणा भगवान की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय शनिता गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि All glory to assemble devotees, 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 all glory to Shishi Goranga, all glory to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. You read the Prabhupada, this one. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading Prabhupada Lilamrita. Sorry, the mark just fell down, so I'm not so sure. Do you remember yesterday? Until
January 1977 was the heading.
there is Bhuvaneshwara, January 1977. That one?
Yeah, January 1977, but we read a bit from there.
All right. Srila Prabhupada became excited by the thought of the judge and lawyers reading all his book. He was completely serious and he insisted the devotees get the authorities to read the books as legal evidence. Srila Prabhupada continued. Krishna said, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, surrender to me and give up all other religion. Now the question may arise, why shall we surrender? Then we can argue and go for 3 years. The whole thing will come out. What is God? What is creation? What is your position? Why you should surrender? And so on and so forth. What do you think? Yes, we should introduce the books as much as possible, said Swatswarup. I will write a letter to New York and tell them to emphasize this. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, thank you so much. Canto 6, chapter 18, text 48. Na yapsu snayat na kupieta na sambhavita dujai na vashita srasham cha vidritam quachit napsus nayana kupieta napsius nayana kupieta na sambaseta durchanai na sambaseta durchanai na vashita tautabasha na vashita tautabasha srasham cha vidritam quachit srasham cha vidritam quachit napsus nayana kupieta nabam vasheta durchanai nabashita udatabasa srasham cha vidritam quachit napsus nayana kupieta na sambasheta durchanai navashita dautabasha srasham cha vidritam quachit. Vaishnavas. Tamatavasat Shantavivitam Kochit Kupeta Sankochit Yana Kupieta Ladies, okay. Na not apsu in water. Snayat must bathe. Na kupita must not become angry. Na sambasita must not speak. Durchanai with wicked person. Nabashita must not wear. Adauta basha unwashed clothes. Sham flower garland. Cha an bivritam which was already worn. Quachit ever. Kashyapa continued, my dear wife, never enter the water while bathing. Never be angry, and do not speak or associate with wicked people. Never wear clothes that have not been properly washed, and do not put on a garland that has already been worn. Read 49. No chitam chandika nancha samishan brishalaritam bunchitolakaya dristam pibenanchalina tuapa. Never eat leftover food. Never eat prasadam offered to the goddess Kali, Durga, and do not eat anything contaminated by flesh or fish. Do not eat anything brought or touched by a Shudra or anything that been seen by a woman in her menstrual period. Do not drink water by joining your palms. Eric. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Generally, the goddess Kali is offered food containing meat and fish, and therefore Kashyapa Muni strictly forbade his wife to take the remnants of such food. Actually, a Vaishnava is not allowed to take any food offered to the demigods. A Vaishnava is always fixed in accepting prasadam offered to Lord Vishnu. Though all these instructions, Kashyapa Muni in a negative way instructed his wife Diti to become a Vaishnavi. Napsus nayan nakupieta na sambaseta durchanai na bishita dautabasha sri sishamcha vidam kwachit. Kashyapa continued, my dear gentle wife, never enter the water while bathing, never be angry. Do not speak or associate with wicked person. Never wear clothes that have not been properly washed, and do not put on a garland that has already been worn. Never eat leftover food. Never eat prasadam offered to the goddess Kali, Durga, and do not eat anything contaminated by flesh or fish. Do not eat anything brought or touched by a Shudra or anything seen by a woman in her menstrual period. Do not drink water by joining your palms. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here Kashyapa Muni continued to instruct his wife. These were the good old days where the wife used to listen to husband. So he said, never enter water while bathing. Didn't really get what does it mean. I didn't understand what does it mean, but if anyone understands, let me know. I'm trying to figure it out what it meant. To enter the water, never enter the water while bathing. That's an interesting question. Never get angry. That's a good one. Do never speak or associate with wicked people. Never wear clothes that have not been properly washed. And never put on a garland that has already been worn. So Srila Prabhupada explained that these are negative sentences that are making deity to become a Vaishnavi. In other words, he's not saying directly you should become a Vaishnavi, you should chant Hare Krishna, you should read the scripture, but he's using the, like Mayavadis, they do the neti process. You should not do this, you should not do that. And in the end, what you get is a Vaishnava. So he's giving all these negative ways, as Prabhupada said. But very important for devotees is that we should never eat any food that is not being offered to Krishna. This is part of our process. And Kashyapa Muni emphasized that we should not eat food that has been offered to goddess Kali or Durga. We see normally people who worship Kali, they offer contaminated food, especially meat and fish. Srila Prabhupada only mentioned Kali and this type of worship in the Bhagavad Gita once, where he said that low-class people, they worship Durga because they want to eat meat. So they need excuse. So they offer the food, the meat to Kali. And in this way, they think that this is a bona fide. But we see that in many other parts of the scriptures, the eating of meat has been forbidden, starting from the Manu Samhita, and later on, even Shankaracharya, which is considered an incarnation of Lord Shiva, he wrote two main scriptures, Viveka Chudamani and Shariraka-Bhasya. Srila Prabhupada often quote Shariraka-Bhasya. And in Viveka Chudamani, he also mentioned that actually Durga, she never accepts these offerings of meat because she's a Vaishnava, she's the wife of Lord Shiva. But in some scripture like Kalika Purana and some other scriptures, apparently, but this is from the 12th century, it's not actually from beginning of creation, is mentioned that concession that, okay, if you want to eat meat, then you offer to Kali. Because obviously make any type of ritual, any kind of offering is better than nothing. But this is not the general rule for someone who's trying to advance in a spiritual life. This is just a concession for somebody who cannot so often we see that Krishna gives these different options for people for advancement in a spiritual life. We also see in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that Krishna says, okay, you do this. If you cannot do this, do that. If you cannot do that, do this. If you cannot do nothing, just study the scriptures, study the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna also discouraged this type of demigod worship. He said that those who worship the demigods are less intelligent. But paradoxically, he just before Bhagavad Gita, he instructs Arjuna to worship Durga. And why is that? The reason is Durga is in charge of the material energy. And what Arjuna wanted, he wanted to win the war and he wanted to have a kingdom, rule a kingdom. And these are different aspects of material opulence. So it's a matter of etiquette. Krishna is not interested in give devotees material things. So he said, okay, you want something material? Go to Durga, ask her. So Arjuna started praying Durga, and she appeared before him. And he said, okay, what you ask me, you have Krishna by your side. Victory is already guaranteed. There is no chance, not even Indra can defeat you now. So we see that this deity worship is integral part of the Vedic system. But there is no confusion of who is the supreme. We see also Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was advised by Baumi Rishi to worship Surya because Maharaj Yudhishthira, he saw that there were so many brahmanas and he need to give so much charity. He didn't have enough resources, especially when the Kurukshetra was going on and the kingdom was taken from him. So Bauma Rishi said, we just go and worship Surya. He's very rich and he will give you whatever you need. So Maharaj Yudhishthira, he worshipped Surya, and Surya gave him a lot of opulence. But when there was this Rasha Surya's yagya, and all the demigods were present, Maharaj Yudhishthira didn't even go to honor Surya there. He offered all respect and he accepted the superior person, Lord Krishna, who was also present there. So this is the difference when a non-devotee worship a demigod just for material benefits, and when a non-devotee worship Kali for material benefit, when Vaishnava worship Krishna just to help him in his service. We also see that the gopis, they also worship Katyayani, which is another form of worship. But they didn't ask for anything material, they just want to have Krishna as their husband. So this is the main difference. And we see that this worship of Kali is very popular, especially in Kali Yuga. I don't know if you've seen, even in Maya plays, during Kali, all these presentations and you see the type of people who are there. They are all drunkards, they are all drunk, they are mad. And there is all kind of crazy things going on. I've seen also in Nepal, they do this offering. You see a big pile of rice, and on top there is a fish. And this they offer to Durga, to Kali. So this is obviously described as the type of Lord of Kingdom. But when a Vaishnava is Vaishnava worship Durga, he's not thinking, okay, I will offer this and particular demigods just to facilitate his service. There is this story of Chandidas. Chandidas is a very famous poet in India. And Lord Chaitanya used to get in ecstasy by hearing the poems of Chandidas. But Chandidas, before, he was a worshipper of Durga, and he had a brother who was a Vaishnava. So they were living side by side, and Chandidas, because he worshipped Durga, he had a lot of opulence. He had a beautiful palace, and he had a lot of beautiful flowers he was using to worship Durga. And his brother, he was a little bit envious of Chandidas. Brother was worshiping a shalagram. And he said, I'm worshiping the shalagram, I'm so poor, because, normally Vaishnavas are poor and worshippers of Kali are rich, because Kali, Durga give all this opulence to his devotees. But the Vaishnavas normally are poor. So the brother of Chandidas was very poor. And he was envious in a sense that he was having all this opulence to do his puja, and he didn't have any even flowers to offer to his shalagram. So one day he saw a beautiful flower in Chandidas' garden, and he mentally offered that flower to his shalagram. And then, just by a range of the providence, Chandidas picked up this same flower and offered to Kali. And in that moment, when Kali accepted that flower, she appeared in front of Chandidas. And Chandidas was very surprised. He said, I've been worshiping you for so many years and you never appeared before me. What is the occasion today? Why today? He said, because you offer me this Mahaprasadam flower from a shalagram to me, and I'm very pleased to you. I'm very pleased with you. And Chandidas said, but doesn't mean that then shalagram is superior to you. And he said, yes, shalagram is Krishna. Krishna is my master. So can I worship Krishna? Yes, of course, you have all my blessings. So in this way, Chandidas became a devotee of Krishna. And he started to write all these beautiful poems. But on the other hand, we have this pastime when this person was worshiping Kali, and he said, Kali, if you give me this material benefit, I will offer you a goat. And then Kali bestowed him the benediction he wanted. And then after that, she said, okay, where is my goat? And then this person started to put, it's very difficult to find a goat nowadays. They are very expensive. I don't know if I will be able to find one in this village. She said, okay, just offer me a pig. They are more commonly seen and they are cheaper. Just offer me a pig. I can say, oh, pigs, okay, let me try. But I don't know, it's very difficult to find pigs nowadays. And Durga became a bit upset and she said, okay, offer me just a fly. And she said, what do you want a fly? There are so many flies buzzing around you. Why don't you just catch one and eat it? Why do you need me for a fly? So we see this is the mentality of materialistic person worshiping demigod. They want something in return for their service. But the mentality of a Vaishnava is different. They only want to serve Krishna through that demigod. And I was reading, because Prabhupada also mentioned in the one verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, this worship of Kali is even nowadays going on, and even human sacrifices are going on in the name of Kali. When I read this, I was really shocked because we are in 21st century and we know there's animal sacrifice being going on even in other religions, but human sacrifices, I was very surprised. But then I read a police report many years ago of that woman in that village in Uttar Pradesh, like 6 hours from Delhi, a small village. And she was having every night nightmares with Goddess Kali. And she didn't know what to do, how to solve this problem. So she went to a tantric. Sometimes you see these tantric who wander around India dressed in black, and they are very strange looking people. And they do all kind of magic things and black magic. So she approached this tantric, and he said, the solution for that is you need to sacrifice a chicken in front of your house. And then all the nightmare will stop. So she had two sons, like elderly, they were around the 20s. So they together, they sacrificed a chicken. And they offered the blood to Goddess Kali. But the nightmares didn't stop there. So what they did, and this is very horrific, they took one of the neighbor kids, and this is a real story, this is a police report, and they cut their hands, the ears, the nose, and they let him bleeding, and they offered the blood to Goddess Kali. So see how much Tamaguna worship. And also, and the police said that actually this is not an isolated case. There are so many cases every year. There are like 25 or 30 cases every year of somebody being sacrificed to Goddess Kali. I remember also one time in Mayapur that we heard at night, around midnight, a woman screaming outside the gates of Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir on the main road. And the next day we found out there was an elderly lady that had been taken to be sacrificed to Kali. So be careful when you go to Mayapur, don't go out at night. And I also have experience, I almost been sacrificed to Kali. I'm not making up the story. Oh, they're close. Do you want to hear how did I get? I told, I think, Adoksha Krishna one time in the kitchen about. One time I was roaming around. And this was interesting because when I read that, when Prabhupada said that this human sacrifice were going on, I kind of was difficult to believe. Of course, we believe what Prabhupada said, but it was difficult for my mind to accept that. But when it happened to me, then it was very evident. One time I went with the brahmachari from Soho. We went all together to Mayapur. But I decided to go to Jagannath Puri on my own because they didn't want to go. They wanted to stay in Mayapur. So, okay. I went on my own. I think it was the first or second time I've been to Jagannath Puri. And I was roaming around a field there. And this guy, out of nowhere, approached to me and he started talking to me. And he said, oh, Hare Krishna. My family, they are Prabhupada disciples and blah, blah, blah. And then he said, we always chant the Mahamantra. I said, oh, really? How it goes? He said, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Rama, Hare Krishna. I said, okay, this guy is a charlatan. So he said, look, I know you're on your own here. There is a very beautiful temple. It's a bit far from here. There are beautiful deities of Radha Krishna, huge deities of Radha Krishna. I would like to take you there. And I understood, he's just probably after money or whatever. So I said, no, I'm not interested. He said, yeah, but there's such a beautiful deities. You should see that. You cannot see this because it's very far. I need to take you there. I need to guide you there. I said, no, I'm not interested. And he said, and there are a lot of shalagrams there. So somehow Paramatma inspired him to say that. I say, okay, let's go. So he was trying to get a rickshaw, and no rickshaw wanted to take us. And I didn't know why, because, rickshaws normally, they are eager to, and it was quite far. We need to pay a lot of money for the rickshaw. And no rickshaw wanted to take us. And then he finally convinced someone to take us. And on the way, I was with this guy on the rickshaw, and people start swearing at him. All the people in the village start swearing at him. I don't know what they were saying. I had no clue. But he was very angry. He was swearing back at them. And I didn't know. Later on, I figured it out that they were saying, "Oh, you found another victim." Okay, whatever. So we kept going with the rickshaw. We get to a very remote place. Out, it was in the middle of nowhere. And then we arrived to the place, and rickshaw said, "Now you need to walk. I cannot take you any further." So we get down from the rickshaw and we start walking, and we went to a place totally out of nowhere. There was nothing around. There were no houses, nothing. It was in the middle of a jungle. And then there was a small temple, and in this small temple there was the deity of Durga. No Radha Krishna, no Shalaram whatsoever. There was just a Kali, very ferocious form of Kali, with the tongue, with the skulls, gull. And then there were like 3-4 guys sitting on a coffee desk. They were playing cards in front of Kali, in front of the deity. And something I remember, I look at the eyes of these people, and I saw something really dark. When people they look really dark. Not just their skin was also very dark, but it was something really dark in their eyes. I don't know what it was, but. And then they said, 12 o'clock is going to be a ceremony, and you must be in it. I say, okay. To that point, I was okay. I was a bit, I think, okay, he cheated me. There are no Radha Krishna, no Shalagrams. He cheated me, but it's okay. Maybe let's see what is around here. So I say, okay, it was around 11:30. I say, okay, I will walk around the temple, and then I come back at 12 o'clock. So as soon as I walk out around the temple, I saw on the right side of the temple, there were a lot of human bones, a lot of skulls, a lot of skeletons, just human bones. There was a big pile of them. So I asked this guy, "What is that?" And he said, "Oh, don't worry about this. There's a crematorium also here." And he said, "No, this is not true. Because if it will be a crematorium, there will be no bones left." And I understood they are doing human sacrifices here. And I'm going to be the lunch for Kali this afternoon. So I say, okay, let's keep walking. So I walk, and the guy was following behind. And then I saw there was a pipe going from the temple outside, and there was like blood coming out from this pipe. And then he asked me, "And what is that?" He said, "Oh, this is Charanamrita from Kali. Drink it." I said, "No, thank you. You drink it." And then anyway, I kept walking, and then I said, "I need to leave because this is a dangerous situation." So I just walked out, and the guy was following me, and he said, "Okay." He understood I will leave. He said, "Give me some money because I brought you here." I said, "No, you cheated me. I'm not going to give you money. You cheated me. I'm not going to give you money." So I kept walking, and I left, and the guy was, "Money, money, money." He was shouting, "Money, money." Anyway, so this sounds like, this Indiana Jones movies. The lost temple to Gandhi. But this is a real story, and then obviously after that I really believe that But coming back to the verse, we see that devotees sometimes they worship demigods, but this worship is totally different to the worship done by non-devotees only seeking material benefits. And Krishna instructed his wife that she should not uh, worship Durga. She should not eat food offered to Durga, but only to Krishna, only the remnants of Krishna. And this is very important in the life of the devotee. It's in the field of this purification. And we see that Yoga Maya, Durga, she had different aspects. One of them is connecting devotees, and this is in the form of Yoga Maya. And another aspect of Durga, which is dealing with the non-devotees in the form of Yoga Maya. It's the same person, but according to the desire of the worshipper, she instructs one in one way according to their own inclination. So, for the devotee, she assists them in the fastings that we see the inhabitants of Vrindavan. They are covered of this energy of the Maya. And they see also their beloveds, they see father, friend, lover. But this is a different situation because it's not free. But that type of devotion is desired for you. This is your mind. But for the rest of the people, they are just covered by Krishna mind. And they think that they have lovers, they think that they have fathers, they think that they have mothers. This is all part of it. One is economical section, other one is professional section, and the other one is defense. And in the department of the universe, we see that Lakshmi Devi is in charge of economical section. And Saraswati is in charge of but there is no confusion of who is the supreme, even though they are delegating these different services. As I said, this is a question of etiquette, like what worship in Buddha. is the way we see Durga. And we see also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling different places, he always paid obeisances to Lord Shiva temple, to different places. There is no question the function of respect everyone, but it's so when Kashyapa Muni was instructing his wife, he was trying to instruct her in such a way that he also all this instruction in the meaning of Vaishnava life and worship of Krishna. He knew that this is the some of the lower Puranas, some of them Well, there are different degrees. Depends who's cooking, depends who's suffering. Because in order for a boga to be prasadam, needs to be cooked with devotion and offered with devotion. It depends who's cooking and depends who's suffering. Like we read in the Prabhupada Lilamrita, when Prabhupada was cooking, he would take just like nectar, like selected, enough devotees, they were totally in ecstasy after eating the Prabhupada food. Because the quality of the prasadam was higher, is the highest type of prasadam. When an ordinary devotee cooks, the prasadam is according to his level, according to his purity, according to his devotion. To that degree is prasadam. But if the person who cooks is a pure devotion, then the prasadam is of a higher. Like when sometimes we need to like eat in a restaurant, I was in Rishikesh with my kids, and they are not tempted there. We're living in the hotel room. And we offer, but who cook there, you know? Materialistic people who probably eat meat even though this is a vegetarian restaurant. So whether Krishna will accept, I don't know. But we hope that at least will not be so bad like to eat boga directly. But obviously it's not the best standard, and we just hope that it's not so sinful. But there was no other choice.
Buy something from the shop, you just offer it for it. So maybe you get free from the sin, but doesn't have the spiritual advantage.
Well, Srila Prabhupada said that if grains are cooked by non-devotees, there is going to be some sin by eating them, even though you offer. There will be some sins there.
Also, Srila Prabhupada said that the most important service in the temple is the person who's cooking. He said, if the cook is not happy, then nobody in the temple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's a big responsibility to cook. Big responsibility.
What about the devotees going home and say parents are not practicing and taking food at home, then what price
Well, I heard many times that what they were saying that, like they say, your mother cook for you because you are a devotee, and your mom cook with devotion for you, then it's okay. It's okay if it's vegetarian and everything.
We don't want to go see it. He couldn't send out his mother. So it was even when she cooked what we came out with his first time.
Yeah. But obviously, the best if you can. Prabhupada said if you cook for yourself, you never get sick. But when you cook things cooked by others, and then it's a bit risky because their consciousness goes into the food. When what I do, like with my mother, when I go sometimes, is that I tell her she want to cook something for me. I just make salad, something which is not grain. Then it's okay, it's saved, because you offer, it's okay. It's not. Okay. Mahaprasadam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tagore Premanande Hari Bol. Tagore Premanande Hari Bol.